The history of the electric car began more than 2 centuries ago, long before the advent of steam engines and internal combustion engines, and only 2 centuries after the first locomotive was put on the rails. Many inventors of that era designed their engine models specifically for electric traction. But at the beginning of the 20th century, developers began to actively develop and improve the internal combustion engine, which, by the way, still runs with an electric motor. The first mention of a car that ran on electricity dates back to 1828. A tiny model that looked more like a board with wheels was created by the Hungarian András Jedlik, who hung the first ancestor of the electric motor on it. The inventor first tested the operation of an electric motor on 4 wheels. Of course, such a motor could not pull a full-fledged large-sized car. But this was already a matter of improvement. Around the same year, Scotsman Robert Davidson developed the first electric-powered crew. Small mobile cars were made by the Dutch Straten Groningen and his assistant Christopher Becker in 1835. Year after year, more advanced models began to appear. The self-taught American electrician Thomas Davenport created the first rotary DC motor. And in Pittsburgh, a locomotive was put on wheels, which moved thanks to electric current in the rails. Later, the inventors came to the idea that it was necessary to improve the battery, so that cars could travel long distances without recharging. In the 1880s, Ralph Ward launched electric omnibuses in London, the forerunners of modern buses. By the way, Great Britain was one of the first to popularize electric cars at the state level. Electric omnibuses similar to London's appeared at the turn of the century in St. Petersburg. The 17-passenger crew, the creation of the engineer-inventor Ippolit Romanov, was able to cover up to 60 kilometers on a single battery charge. The developers competed not only in endurance, but also in speed. The fastest at that time was the Lejeune Content electric car. It accelerated to 105 kilometers per hour, the first in the world to overcome the barrier of 100. Electric cars quickly gained popularity among the population. At the beginning of the 20th century, every third car on the roads of America was electrically powered. It was not difficult to drive such a car, and besides, it did not emit harmful exhaust gases. In 1911, the New York Times wrote that, for a long time electric cars were considered the ideal means of transport. They were quieter than those that ran on fuel, much more economical and more environmentally friendly than their contemporaries. 100 years later, we return to the same thought. There is hope that this time it will stay much longer. A new stage in the development of electric cars in the world began after the appearance of Tesla electric cars. Modern electric cars are capable of covering distances of hundreds of kilometers. They are not inferior in speed and power to cars with internal combustion engines. And they can be charged from a regular household outlet.